Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Watkin. I'm from Communicate Better blog and also an employee of Phone.com. You can see my logo there, and we're here with coffee and customer service today. What do you guys drinking today?
Got some iced tea over here.
Tea.
A mustache mug.
Darren's got the mustache mug.
Nah,
Yeah, I'm rocking tea too. Jenny, have we ever actually drunk coffee on our coffee and customer service hangouts?
I think there was one time we did, once, when we first started, and then I really don't think we've kept it up.
Yeah, I definitely have never drunk coffee on one of these hangouts, so maybe we should call it tea and customer service.
What about cocktails and customer service? That might be kind of fun.
Don't think that would turn out very well.
It'd be for some good discussions.
Yeah, it would. It would be more loose.
Really good viewing too, probably. Okay, we've gone too far.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk. We read an article this week called, what was it? Maybe you get bad customer service because you're a bad customer. And I thought that was just, from a customer service perspective, that is a really interesting article. Obviously, we're all familiar with getting yelled at. But I wanted to pull in some of my friends today. Jenny and I wanted to pull in a couple of our friends today to talk about this topic of customers throwing tantrums and does it really help them get their way. And I kind of view it sometimes as a father having a couple kids, and if you let your kids throw tantrums and get what they want, they'll continue to do it because it worked. So should we be in the position of training our customers to not throw tantrums, and have we trained them that the only way they can get good customer service is if they do? I think it's a really interesting topic to discuss, but I guess before we go further, can you guys just introduce yourselves from left to right? The guy with glasses. I don't know.
Yeah, my name is Darren Oliva. Been working for Phone.com since, I guess, March this year, so I'm pretty brand new. Enjoying it and sporting the shirt. Yeah!
Woo! I'm Jenny Dempsey. I'm the co-writer for Communicate Better blog. I'm also the customer service supervisor at Phone.com. Hello.
I'm Thomas. Been working for Phone.com for about a year. Tech support, sales, and the works.
Extraordinaire. All right, so you guys ready for me to hit you with some questions?
Yep.
Fire
Get
away.
on.
All right, so first question for you. I'm going to ask Darren, actually. So, Darren, when you call other customer service call centers, whatever, how do you tend to treat the agents when you call them? What kind of customer would you say you are?
Well, being that I have had experience being a customer service rep before even having to call customer service for any reason. Usually, I'm pretty good about it. I ask questions that would lead me to my answer rather than getting mad at the customer if it's not my fault or anything that I have to I guess solve. I mean. I'm pretty nice about it whenever I ask questions. I'm not really that stern or aggressive. And a lot has to do with, again, my experience as being a customer service rep and the fact that I understand how they feel when customers do yell at them. For example, my dad, don't want to put him on blast, but he can get pretty irate for no reason. And as a customer service rep, I feel for them. And I don't want to do that to them as well. So I'm pretty good about it. I ask questions that need to be asked rather than just trying to beat them up over the phone. So yeah.
Do you think your dad's gonna watch this?
No. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, it begs the question for me, Jenny, would you say that you would have treated customer service reps different when you called them prior to being a customer service professional, or would you say you've always treated them the same way?
Well, I kind of feel, I mean, I've always been nice. There's never been a time where I've been like angry to customer service rep because I kind of always had a job in the customer service world, whether it be like in food services or whatever. But I think along the way, like I've started to like, I don't know, I expect better service because I know what it's like to give good service. So I look for that more often. I've kind of found that that has shifted as far as, you know, my position has as well, working in customer service, especially on the phone. But so I expect it. And when I don't get it, I get frustrated. But I don't usually do anything about it. Like, you know, we have customers that, you know, will complain to us, send feature requests and stuff. I'm not at that point where I feel comfortable doing that yet. I'm finally gotten to the point where, like, if I go to a restaurant and I get the wrong meal or something not right, I'm finally gotten to the point where it's like I feel comfortable with saying, hey, this isn't what I ordered. Usually I would take it and just deal with it on my own. But now I'm starting to get more comfortable with, like, speaking up. But if I get great customer service, I'm the type of customer who will go and rave about it, whether it being, like, an email to their like support department or, you know, feedback or review online. Like, I'm that type of customer. So, and that I've definitely always been doing. I've always raved about someone or told someone else about it if I've gotten good service. But it's a bad service part that I haven't quite yet figured out how to how to approach, I guess.
Yeah, Thomas, would you say you've ever had to be really stern or even demanding when you called customer service?
A couple times. Different issues with internet providers specifically because they try to give me devices that they recommend, and I like doing my own custom setup. So I have been stern, but I'm usually polite because I know how they're having to deal with it on that side, and I know that the first person I speak to most likely can't help my issue. So I say, okay, I know that you can't do this. Please send me to someone who can, because they have like 4 different departments before they actually get someone you can have help you. I try to remain polite, but sometimes I get like a little bit of a growl in my voice.
A growl, wow.
Yes, a growl.
You should copyright that.
I don't know how to explain it past that. It's like a little more demanding, but still remain polite because I think that I know how I would feel if I was on the other end, so I don't want to have someone speaking that way to me, so I try not to be that person.
Mhm.
It's,
Well, we'll try and work you up for the rest of the call and see if we can, for the rest of the hangout, and see if we can get you to growl for us. My wife laughs at me because I don't ever yell at customer service reps. I'm always really respectful, but I do yell at IVRs when I'm like trying to get past the stinking menu.
Human, please.
Yes.
No.
I said no.
So Jenny, I'm gonna ask you this one, but do you think customers, when they call us, do they get their way when they throw tantrums? And should they?
You know, I think yes, they do. They're more likely to get their way some of the time. I think, you know, they get more attention, or they get attention quicker when they do that. Their issue may not be resolved in any faster time frame, but they definitely do get more attention because of the fact that they threw that tantrum. And I guess that goes for anyone, like you're in a store and you see, you know, a kid sitting on the floor screaming, like everyone's going to look at them. They're going to get the attention they want, whether or not they get, you know, the fix that they want or the candy or the toy or whatever. That's, you know, beyond the point. But the attention is there just because they're making such a ruckus. So, I mean, that's kind of just at least how I see it.
Do you, Darren? Do you think we should train those customers differently and not serve them if they're going to throw a tantrum?
Well, I do believe that we should be, I mean, to the point stern with them, be like, you know, I understand that they want to get their way, and I understand the fact that they're frustrated, but being mad at someone that maybe not directly uh, dealing with the issue, um, it can definitely put the strain on the customer service rep and cause them to act different. Is there an echo? Sorry. Um, I think definitely we should be stern with the customers that call in and let them know, if they are being aggressive towards us, to be, I guess, more polite in a sense. Let us know exactly what's going on rather than just yelling at us, because it doesn't really get anywhere if you're trying to be aggressive towards us. I mean, like I said, sometimes it's not that we, the customer service rep, are responsible for the issue directly, but we will definitely help you out if we can do our best. But yeah.
Darren, I'm curious. When you hear your dad talk and act like that to reps, how do you find that they react to him?
I mean, I don't listen to the call definitely, but I can, from his side, I hear them giving him the runaround, and I can understand completely, because for customers, we've all dealt with irate customers and customers that just want to get their way, just being really aggressive towards us at the bat, or whatever you want to call it, at the get-go, and of course I will solve or help solve the issue, but at the same time, it does not push me to, I guess, to address it in a way where if you're nicer to me, I will cater to you more, I guess. For my dad, I feel, yeah, definitely he's getting the runaround. They're not as attentive to his issues,
Hmm.
and I guess it's the same thing with. I wouldn't say it's the same thing with me. I would listen to you, but I'm not as like, oh, I'll give you what you want because you're mad at me, kind of thing. It's more like I'll listen to you. I'll see what I can do in the timely manner, but because you're mad at me, it's not gonna make things faster. I can't. I can try my best, but it's not making things faster. And you being aggressive to me is not helping the situation, kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's what's going on with my father as well.
We have definitely fired a handful of customers who have just the constant pattern of throwing a tantrum, and I think there's a difference. Some of them call legitimately angry, and whether it's a frontline support or a supervisor, one of them can figure out how to diffuse it and build up better patterns of communication. Um, and I've even seen it where I think we had one customer that would just yell at everybody. He even got to me and yelled at me, and finally told him we wouldn't stand for it, and he backed off. We called his bluff, apparently. But it is really interesting. So, Darren and Thomas, one thing that comes to mind with customers that throw tantrums, I think Jenny and I are kind of in the advantage as as managers, supervisor, whatever. That I think oftentimes customers will call and mow through you guys to get to one of us, and then because they know we're higher up the ladder and have more power or whatever, or they think we do, or maybe they think we're more competent to fix the problem, which is typically far from true. They'll mow through you guys to get to us, and then they'll be perfect ladies and gentlemen with us. What do you guys think about that? Thomas, do you pick up on that pattern ever?
Yeah, I actually had someone that it was about 2 months ago that they called in, and quite literally they had spoken with 4 reps before me, and they generically said what their issue was. I told them I could help them with it because I tend to think that I know everything to do with the system and make it work. Basically, they told me, no, I'm done dealing with you people very rudely, vulgar language, so on. And they wanted to speak with the supervisor. I'm like, okay, are you sure? I'll definitely try and help you if you allow me to. And they just didn't want that. Put them on hold. Tried to get a hold of a supervisor. Couple first that I went to weren't available, and then the other one was. When I came back from hold, I heard them in the background saying, "This is how you have to beep and be with these people because they won't give you any kind of service if you don't." And I kind of shut down and was just monotone, very, okay, I've gotten a hold of someone. I'm going to transfer you over. I'll let them know, here you go. And just like you would with, I don't want to say with a child, but very straightforward and I can help you if you let me, but if you're not going to let me, there's nothing I can do aside from the basics. Like, I'm more apt to help people that are nice than someone who's starting off the call yelling and cussing.
Definitely the ultimate professional.
Yeah,
It is.
wow.
It's
Nice.
hard not to get sucked in and be emotional with the customer. I mean, there's kind of that balance. We preach empathy all the time in customer service, but you don't want to be right there in their anger with them necessarily. um, that's very interesting. But yeah, kudos to you, Thomas, for maintaining some professionalism there.
Alternatively, there are some calls that will call in and they start off like that, but when you, like, what I tend to do is butter them up. Like, I'll throw even more, oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm definitely going to look into it. And it's quite literally trying to figure out what their issue is through all of their fast jabber and not direct, okay, this is the issue, and I'll help you with it. Like, by the end, usually they're calmed down or their issue is solved. But when they remain irate, it's really hard to pinpoint what it is because you're trying to work while you're hearing all of background.
Do you find that disarms them most of the time, or what percentage of the time do you think?
About 85, so like 15% will still remain irate. I mean, there's logically people are still losing their money if their system's not working how they want it to. So there's valid complaining, and then there's overdoing it. Like, you
Mm.
didn't set up the rules right and you're upset about it, but in notes it says that you have been told how to do it again and again. I can definitely help you with it. I'll get it fixed. Just let me do my job and let me help you.
Jenny, I think consensus around our office would be you're probably the nicest person any of us know.
Definitely.
I see everybody agrees. Um, what are your tips for disarming customers that throw tantrums? I know you have some in your tool belt.
Oh man. Well, I mean, Thomas said the butter up or just, the empathy, like the extra I'm sorry is the real way to show that you understand. Sometimes I kind of learned a technique from my friend Angela, who, did the book club with us a while back. She told me about something, and I forget the term, but it's something called voice matching. So basically, it's like if they call in and they do this thing and their voice is real high, you match them, and then your sentence goes lower. So it's like you start off, well, I think this is going to be how we're going to do it. And you kind of bring them down. And
Wow.
I noticed that it's like when I do that with these customers, like I'm showing that, I mean business by having, my voice a little escalated, but I'm bringing it down lower, and I'm bringing it down lower to a normal level that shows that, I actually cause concern, and they start to follow it. Whether or not they know it, like, I think it's all like psychological, but it's a really cool technique, and I do use it often when customers do bring, the escalated voice levels over, on the phone, and it does help. But really just showing that you understand. Sometimes at this point, cuss words don't really bug me on the phone. I used to get really offended because I would take it personally. So I had to learn, not to do that. And I think once I learned not to do that, and I sometimes will, not cuss, but I'll say, words that may not be super professional, like, yeah, that freaking sucks. I get it. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like it catches them off guard. And I think giving a more real approach, like, hey, this, I totally get it. Yeah, they really can connect with that, and they know that I'm, going to work with them on a real level, and then I think that kind of helps them stay at a lower level of anger, or, they can put their trust that the issue is going to be resolved. They don't have to yell. So kind of a few things in the mix there. I don't know if I'm always the nicest, but I try to always just be real with people and treat them how I'd want to be treated, even when they are angry. But some people, like I don't know. Some people I don't know. I guess sometimes I still take it personally. They call me a name. Like I think there's a couple of examples, Jeremy, that you might remember. But
I could share if you want.
But yeah, so I obviously still have stuff to work on, but yeah, that's kind of my go-to for that stuff. So,
Well, I was gonna ask a question about any bits of advice you'd give to customers on how you want to be treated, but I think I have a better question. So when a customer calls and throws a tantrum, what's the worst reaction you've ever had? I'll tell you mine. Back when I was a customer service rep, a customer called about his bill and just yelled at me from the get-go, and I put him on hold to find a supervisor, but when I put him on hold, I threw my phone. So there you go. I got a little emotional. I've come a long way in the last several years.
oh boy.
Can anybody top that?
I borderline called a customer a name right when I was first starting. They called in and they were yelling at me and cussing me out, and it quite literally got to the core, and I felt like crying, and I'm not that kind of person. And I was like, really, really kind of, I shut them down. I told them, I can't help you if you don't let me. Please stop cussing at me, stop yelling at me. If you want help, stop, slow down, I'll help you, or I'm going to disconnect the call. I can't do anything past that. There's no supervisors available. I have my protocol I have to follow. I can put in a ticket for you. I can't do anything past that with your issue. It was a billing one, and it was past an amount that I'm allowed to touch, or was initially allowed to touch. So, yeah, it was a little complicated. But they did kind of apologize at the end of it. It was just like I had to take a break afterwards. I was just so jittery. It was not fun, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah, those breaks are important after situations like that. There's
Darren,
one. Oh, sorry.
Do you
Go
have
ahead.
any confessions? Go for it. Jenny.
Okay,
Or
sorry,
Darren.
I totally do. Real quick, it's just one that it was an email, and they made fun of my last name, and so I went to go to, I was so offended, and I wrote this email to Jeremy, and thought I forwarded the email to Jeremy. Nope, I replied back to the customer with my confession of what I thought about them calling my name. So that really sucked. Jaron, what do you got?
I have two stories actually. One here at Phone.com, and also when I worked for ProFlowers. It was a seasonal job, of course, at ProFlowers. This was, I guess, the day after Valentine's. So a lot of irate customers calling, "Where are my flowers?" kind of thing, or "How come they weren't sent?" And of course, we're just doing orders. So this guy called me an a-hole for not, putting the order right, and I'm not even sure if I even helped the specific customer. So I was like, I was taking it for a little bit, but I guess that was my first, call center job. So even still, like our customer service job, I get a little frustrated or a little, I guess, anxious when I get put on the spot. So I didn't know how to handle it after he was calling me names for a good 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I just kept on. I was what do you call it? How do you call it? Sarcastic, and I was like, sure, yeah, whatever you want. No, 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 no. Like I was just dishing it back to him and stuff, and I mean we got it resolved and everything like that. But that was definitely unprofessional. I felt really bad for that. I did have to take a break after that and cool down. So that was pretty bad at ProFlowers. Here at Phone.com, it was recent too, and this was I wrote down a comment that the customer was going to complain to BBB, I guess, and I wrote it in a section. I thought it was just a note. I'm pretty sure you know about this, Jenny and Jeremy.
Yeah,
And,
that's fun.
so he was being really irate. It was on chats actually, and I just wrote it down. You know, he's gonna complain to the BBB. I wrote it down in the notes in the comm logs, and I guess I wrote it down in the credit line so they can see it. And then he was like, "Oh, I see that you wrote that." And I was like, "What?" Like I don't know. I guess that was the worst. Caught me off guard because I thought he was hacking into our system.
Oh, boy.
That's pretty awesome. Well, I think we're all far from perfect. And when we get yelled at, we're even further from perfect.
Yeah.
So, wow, great hangout day, guys.
This is awesome.
I definitely think consensus is that if a customer can call us with a cool, respectful head, they can still be emotional, and we can pick up on their emotions, but it makes it a lot easier for customer service to help them out. And I think you can be stern without crossing the line of being rude.
And vulgar.
And
Avoiding
vulgar, for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
It makes it a heck of a lot easier to be a customer service representative.
I guess it makes us more. I guess in a better word, like to help you out more, go out of the way, rather than okay, I'll do what's standard, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you guys would add? This has been a lot of fun.
Basically, society's training people to be vulgar and obnoxious and big babies on the phone when they call and want something so basically solved.
Convenience.
Quite literally ridiculous. I think they should have reasonable, like, demands is a bad word. They should have what they want fixed, say it to us, but say it like an adult, not yelling, not whining, not saying, I want transferred immediately, because that's not going to get them anything faster.
Hmm.
They still have steps that they have to go through. Just basically taking their time and respecting our time.
Yep.
Is I guess.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like the the golden rule, I guess. Well, that I follow. It's like treat others the way you want to be treated, kind of thing. So I go with that, and like Jenny said, like the matching the voice or going with that. I like to, if it escalates, I do try to calm them down and speak with a less abrasive tone and more polite. And the same way, if they're like that with me, I'm more, able. I feel more able to go out and above and beyond to help them out. So.
A lot of the time, I'll end up like throwing, "Oh, you were so nice. It was great. Here, have a 10% discount for the next 6 months." And they're like, "Oh, thank you. You shouldn't have." It's like, no, trust me, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, well, we are at Phone.com. We're definitely. I'm stoked with the people that we hired, like Thomas and Darren, and of course Jenny.
Thanks.
And just,
Of course.
I think we have a great team that really focuses on not giving customers the runaround, and in most cases, I think our customer service reps are so friendly that it's often disarming to a otherwise angry customer. And also, I think it just some of the responsibility comes back on me in management to make sure you guys are empowered to resolve as much as you can. So, customers expect frontline support to be powerless and not that intelligent, and I think we're changing that by having awesome people like you guys on the team. So, thanks so much for joining and sharing your expertise today. You guys are customer service professionals, doing it every day, and tell the world about how to offer awesome customer service. So, have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I see we have 2 viewers today, and so thanks.
Woohoo!
Hi, guys.
Thanks, viewers.
That's awesome.
And I think I just got a question from a viewer in Greek.
In Greek?
Wow.
So, have a terrific weekend,
You guys.
and
You too.
let's do this again sometime.
It was fun.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Hasta luego.